Dang, are you working tomorrow?
Yes, I am. It's Labor Day. Labor Day, Labor Day. Everybody working. Everybody doing Labor Day stuff. Labor Day work. Sucks.
That's
I find Labor Day to be really stupid, to be honest. Because we were talking about it at work. We were like, what is Labor Day for anyway? So apparently it's a holiday honoring those who pretty much work, and it's supposed to be a whole weekend where everybody's off, but the world don't work like that. You got
that's literally impossible.
you celebrating a day of people working by having people work. For
Labor Day.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, that is yeah, I can definitely give you 30. I can give you 30. And I'm gonna say Labor Day is just that's an interesting topic. I was talking about that with a crossing guard, talking about how she's working Labor Day. My other friend said he's working Labor Day. And I'm like, that's why it's called Labor Day. Obviously. It's no
The
real holiday, fools.
the only good thing about it is you get, well, some jobs you get double. You're being paid double because it's the holiday, federal
True.
holiday, but still. Like for it, that's like Christmas. I feel like everybody on Christmas should be at home enjoying things with family, but you got people working Christmas, then come home and be like, "Oh, I got a gift card to Subway. Thank you."
Oh my God. Yeah, oh my God. Just a gift card to Subway. And that's how it really be too. Like it'll be like six gifts, all of equal or lesser value than a Subway gift card in like a raffle. And it's like whoever busts their ass this quarter will have the opportunity to one of these six gifts. And those people probably like what make the company thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars with all that work together that they did, and just to give one person a small prize. It's a jug, man. It's a jug.
All right, so I looked up Labor Day, since we're on it. So, yeah, it is. It's a day to honor and recognize the American labor movement and the works and contributions of laborers to the development and achievements of the United States. And apparently, trade unionists proposed that it would be a day set aside to celebrate labor. And then that's pretty much it. Labor Day became a public holiday. Oregon
I feel
was
like that's like a.
Oregon was the first state to make it official.
I'm thinking like this is definitely not something people wanted to make. This is like definitely a government thing.
No.
Let's throw in a holiday in there and just make people think they want to celebrate working their 9 to 5s.
P.J. McGuire, vice president of the American Federation of Labor, is frequently credited as the father of Labor Day in the United States. Well, American Federation of Labor, of course, it's made by the government. It's a holiday made by the government.
I mean, I
Celebrate
guess like even on a what?
and we'll put a day aside for everybody to celebrate enslavement while we're enslavement paid enslavement by
Exactly.
working.
And I mean, I guess, like, at some point, yes, we all have to work for society to get us to a point where we don't have to work. But how much of that is self imposed and unnecessary stuff? Now everything feels necessary, but we made it necessary. Like insurance. You know, insurance is necessary now, but is it really necessary?
Well, I guess, well, in today's age, yes. If you were considering it from before Henry Ford created the first car and everything, I
Hmm.
would say it probably would have been useless unless like you're a rich person and you're like, having a whole bunch of riches that you wanted to make sure was insured. So in case anything happens, it's like, oh, well, I got this. But nowadays, insurance is a necessity, especially say like if you have an establishment and it gets robbed, like all your merchandise there, you're hoping that it was insured so you can get that money, all that product's money's worth back, and then you can just continue. So I guess yeah, insurance is kind of like a necessary thing for right now, currently in
Mm-hmm.
today's age. But like back in the day, like we most likely didn't need that. This is all stuff that's like evolved over time that like we didn't need, but then some situation happened that is like, all right, we'll have this in place, and then it just became normal. The only thing that wasn't normal, in
Mm.
my opinion, is the 13th Amendment. But or was it the 13th Amendment? I just want to make sure if it's the right one before I say something stupid. He'd be like,
I was like, I'm definitely playing like the extremist role. I already know people who know all their bills and laws and shit. Are like, what is this man talking about? Insurance necessary? What an idiot! Of course.
it's not the 13th Amendment. I don't mean the 13th Amendment. Which one is it with taxes? What's the amendment with taxes? Because I legit just said slavery was stupid. The 13th Amendment
Yeah,
abolishes
see, that's why
slavery.
you don't. That's why you don't set things in stone, Deshaun. Why are you saying these things? What is it actually
It's
for the
this. I
people
think
who you
I
know?
think it's the 16th. It's the 16th.
What is the 13th Amendment?
The 13th Amendment was the abolishment of slavery. I meant to say the 16th. I was like, wait, that don't sound right.
Wait, so what is the 16th Amendment?
All right, so the 16th Amendment is where income tax was instated. So income tax is something that was started in the early 1900s. So you know how everybody is always saying tax the rich, and all that.
Yeah.
So that was so before that, during the Civil War, before World War I, there was no taxes as far as you're working, whatever income you made, that's your income. There's no tax taken out. But then people were ratifying, like, oh, let's vote to tax the rich. Let's do this because war was starting and we needed because back then the only time you ever were taxed was if you were in war, and then obviously World War I was coming up, and they're like, all right, well, we need money to fund this, so let's tax the rich. So they advocated to the rest of the country, like, hey, if you vote for this amendment to be passed, we'll tax the rich. And everybody, obviously, even today, they're like, yeah, let's do that. The rich need more money taken out of their pocket. No, it's the
Mm.
1% sure has a lot more money, but how many people are in the 1% compared to, say, the middle class and lower class? There's more people in those two classes than the higher class that money is going to be taken out of the majority than the little minority that we're trying to take from that has more money than us. So the 16th
Mm.
Amendment was voted by us and stated by us to have money taken out of our income whenever we earn, a paycheck, thinking that we were
Mhm.
taxing only the rich. No, we got we got flipped over on that big time. It could be tweaked,
Mm.
but that
It's
that
like
that's what I meant.
when I was thinking about it is this income tax specifically. Why do the rich not get taxed? Because of their knowledge and their assets. You know, they don't necessarily have all their money come back to them as income.
Yeah,
Point blank period. When you're
exactly,
working class, you work and you get income. That's it.
exactly. Like
That's why you're taxed.
the only way
It's a
to
chess game, man.
it is like the only way to identify, like, okay, how rich you are in your so the one thing I found out recently, because everybody's always talking about net worth and all that stuff, so I'm like, all right, I know net worth, but do I really know net worth is? So I started looking into it, and the way to like you can calculate your own net worth is how many assets do you have in regards of, say, property or intellectual property or anything that would give you passive income along with whatever job you're working, and how much debt you're in. And then that'll, like, you do a little calculation, math, blah blah blah, and it'll give you like your net worth. So
Hmm.
assets, a lot of rich people, they don't have, like you said, they don't have all their money just like, oh, just all in my bank account. No, like a lot of it is in assets, and they don't liquidate the assets. They just they just either buy an asset and upgrade it, or they trade it off, and then whatever money they get, they immediately put into another asset. So that way, whenever they have to, like spend money or anything like that, if as long as they don't liquidate that millions of dollars, they don't have to be taxed on nothing. They don't have to, file it in a sense. So yeah, I read it in one. This is one book. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. It dives into that a lot, and it was really insightful. And then it also showed me like where
Really?
I yeah, and it showed me where I'm at currently as far as, all right, how can I make more income, and how can I not feel like I'm in this rat race that everybody's like, I'm on this grind to try and get mine. No, like there's has to be a smarter way. If there's so many people out here just getting rich like this, it's like, all right, how? So that book kind of
Mm-hmm.
really helped establish that notion of, all right, I got this. Like, all right, I know what I can do to feel like, all right, I'm rich now or something. It's like, no, I just know how to. I've gained financial literacy. It's a good book.
Mm.
It's a good book. I'd highly recommend it. It's not that. I think it's like nine
It's
bucks.
definitely a must read.
Yeah, when I was reading it, I was telling people like, "Hey, read this. Like, this could help you." I tried to show my mom, but you know, people don't want to read. People don't want to listen, and it's like, all right.
She wasn't going for it.
No, she's it's more of those like I showed her some things that I learned from the book, but she wants it like she wants somebody else to do it for her, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you as much information, but I'm not going to do things for you. That's the mindset I'm on. Like, if the only way I'll do something for you is if I see progress.
Mm-hmm. And that's what she said, basically.
Yeah,
That's how a lot of people are. They don't really have time or don't really have the ability to just put their money into something they're not completely sure of. It makes them hesitant because, somebody misses rent or maybe they're already behind on rent. They can't afford to just be like, yeah, just, forget everything pick up this stuff and be your own boss.
yeah. No, well, everybody is. I say everyone is capable of being their best person, be doing what they want, like doing what they love, making money and stuff. But we are in America, and the rest of the world kind of puts us in this system where things has to go certain ways. Like, every time when you see somebody getting married, like that one person that we know, um, it's like, damn, like should I be married around this time? I don't know. And then everybody's always expecting things for you because that's what they did, and it's like, well, I want to do something different. It's kind of we're stuck. We put ourselves in a rat race, and we're just going in a constant circle. It's just different generations passing it down.
Hmm. And I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy because it's it's where do you go when you want to defy that? You know, where do you go when you want to break that pattern, but you are already working 40 hours plus, and all your bills are caught up, all your money's tied up, you're just exhausted. It's like so difficult
It it
to break free of that working cycle.
it is hard, but I think one of the best first steps to take is to sit down and chart out exactly where your life is at currently. Like in the book, it shows you there's like a diagram that you could use to pretty much identify which class you're actually in, as far as like what assets you have, what debts you have, what's your income, and all this other extra stuff. But it also it helped, like when I did it, it helped me figure out like, all right, in order for me to be in a better spot, I should, stop doing this, get rid of this. Like for me right now, it's just getting rid of all my debt. If I get rid of all my debt, then a lot of people are going to look at me like, damn, this guy got money. I'm like, no, I'm just not, I'm debt free. I'm chilling. So it's like for people, you have to make a plan of, all right, what are my expenses? What are my debts? How much income do I have? What are my assets? And then when it comes to debt, what's your lowest one? What's your highest one? Obviously, you can check all the rates and stuff, but usually I just look at it as like, all right, if this credit card I got 200, this one I got 1,000. All right, I'm gonna clear out the 200, and I ain't gonna touch it, and then I'm gonna go for the 1,000. And then obviously, it's just moving your money to different places. Like one part of the book that I read, it's like think your money as employees. Like each dollar you have is one employee. When you spend it, it's like you're leaving. You're just letting that employee go. But then, say if you use it towards saying investing it, putting it into stock investing or property investing or just buying a property in general, anything that could generate your pretty much your own income. That's where you're. It's like you hear that term. You're making your money work comes in and all this other extra stuff. I would just say just read the book. Just read it because it dives a lot. It's a lot of pages, but like I don't read that often like I used to. But that book, I read that within a week. I sat there, even at work, I was just reading. And I was like, ooh, all right, bet. So
Seriously?
yeah,
In a week?
yeah. I mean, it would have probably
How
been
long is it?
let's see, actually, because it's right here on my shelf, full of other books. It is 352 pages.
Mm, dang.
But each chapter pretty much it dives in because he talks about um like moments in his life, what he's done to to generate his wealth, but also then it dives into like certain topics, and then after the end of each chapter, there's like a summary that summarizes what the chapter was about and what to take from it, terminology, all that other extra stuff. So if anybody was to buy anything during Labor Day, I would say get this.
Really? I feel like people have been recommending that book as long as I can remember. It's you could probably find it online in a PDF for real at this point. Because I
Probably
might.
you could get it as a PDF on Amazon, $7. You can get it at Barnes and Nobles, Target, wherever.
Hmm.
But like for me, I got it and I read through it, and like I said, it's good. It's a good guidebook to like all right, like getting yourself on a trajectory. Because if you're someone that just hates where your life is at, and it's just like you're feeling like you're not making enough money, it's like all right, well, why, how? Never say, oh, I can't do this. It's always like, all right, how can I do this? Like
Hmm.
when I read that
True.
part in the book, I was like, you know what? That's a great mindset to have. Because a lot of times, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I can't do this, and because I don't have enough money, or I can't do this because whatever life thing's going on." But whenever you say, "All right, how can I do this? I can't do it now, but how can I do it for later?" Then it opens up a whole bunch of other opportunities for yourself. For example, it's like, all
It's
right,
true.
I can't
It's
get
getting the ball rolling.
yeah. It's like how can I get a woman instead of I can't get one. It's like how.
Mm,
Ask yourself, how can you?
mm. Was this in Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah, it's in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, but it's about money, not women.
Isn't it a little book? Like a short book?
It's small. I mean, they got a big size version for people that can't read small text, but it's a small book. You can put it in your purse. You can put it in your jacket or whatever. Can't fit it in your pocket, but it's a book.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. There's another book I have actually in here in my own room. It's called The 4 Day Work Week, and
You
I
know,
want to finish that book too. Or no, not even the 4 day work week. It's the 4 hour work week.
oh, I was about to say 4 day work week. Europe actually started doing that in certain places. To give
Mm,
people. So it's like pretty much like it's a 4 day work week. You're working. You're still getting your 40 hours. So you're technically working 10 hours a day, but you have that 3 day weekend. Apparently that's been really good for them. Like mentally, a lot of workers have been
mm.
happy and stuff. So I'm like, damn, America ain't gonna do that. America gonna be like,
I mean, find it for yourself. It's not true. My job makes me work 5 days a week, literally. So annoying.
well, you work at a school, kind of like, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a school.
basically.
And the only time that you off is when the school's off. That's the only thing.
Hmm.
So like, what's when it comes to summer, it's like, hey, all right, time to find another job until school starts back up again or something. It really does suck though that teachers are like one of the lowest paid people. They're like really important, but that's another day.
Yeah, man. Money is a crazy topic, you know.
Hmm.
Because I think about it when you bring up that subject. It's like, why do basketball players get paid more than doctors? You know,
Yeah,
why do anybody who plays sports get paid more than people who save
if
lives?
if you think about it
And it's
though,
just because of the way money is generated.
yeah,
It's not generated for what we need. It's generated based off of what we want.
yeah,
So that's how you spend it.
exactly. I was about to say that. I was like, it's because people will pay to watch people play basketball, but people won't pay to fix their arm or something or can't afford it. You
And
know.
that's a big internal struggle I was like forced to go through. Is like, if I make my own YouTube channel, am I gonna be substance to the world, or am I just gonna be bullshit and like, you know, I don't know. No offense to
No,
anybody out
no,
there
I don't.
who
I
makes
don't think
YouTube,
anybody will be bullshit. Everybody's gonna be.
but like,
Everyone's gonna be
no,
substance.
listen. By bullshit, I mean like just like everything, mostly like toys and just it's all distractions. Like there are a lot of people on YouTube who are teaching people how to do shit. There are a lot of people who are teaching people on YouTube, but there's also just a lot of stuff just to get your time and attention and your clicks. You know,
Yeah, if you find that niche, that's how you gonna make your money. Cause you got
I mean it's
that
entertainment.
yeah, that's all it is. Everyone's gonna pay for entertainment, but people won't pay for their
Mm,
health. That's why
I
the
what
that's why entertainment makes more money than health nowadays.
I guess you could also say how important it is.
Hmm.
It's very important. Like the people, you know, the will to live. It gives people personality
Mm,
by having those different choices, those different things about them that they're obsessed with. That's beyond just eating, pooping, and surviving.
right. Speaking of health, I got a question for you. I had asked you this before, but I was like, I'll ask you when we hop back on again. Um, I'm gonna ask you the question. Just answer as honestly, and I'll explain, and then we can dive into it. Do you believe all vegetables are fake?
What? I believe. Like, what do you mean by fake?
No, just answer. Do you believe all vegetables are fake?
Like, I'm answering this not in one yes or no because I did in fact realize, or I found out that humans biologically engineered most of the vegetables in existence. One,
Mm-hmm.
whether those are real or fake or not, like humans like made all these like different little breeds of vegetables. And two, I have seen like videos of like this woman turning wax into like a head of lettuce. So I can see that, it's will be fake out there. Go ahead. That's my answer.
Mm, okay. All right. So the reason why I asked because this topic came up um like a couple of weeks ago now. My family had asked the question, and I was like, yeah, you guys didn't like know that like a lot of what we eat is genetically modified already. That's been like that for God knows how long. And they were like, no. I'm
The
like,
first answer I gave was what you're getting at.
was it what?
When I said when I said that humans engineered a bunch of the vegetables that we have today,
Mm-hmm.
like they didn't exist before humans.
Yeah. So
Telling older members of my family, including my like parents, anything related to like what the what isn't plain in front of our face or what they have told to me, they can't intake any of it. Like I remember I told my family something along the lines of like, do you think the government can control the weather? And this was meant to be an open discussion. This wasn't me saying I strongly believe the government can control the weather and I'm scared and they're gonna make it rain on Tuesday. Like this wasn't what that was. This is just an open-ended question, just to, poke at people's heads and stuff. They turn on me and they're just like, no, there's no way in hell anything within. I can't even believe you would think that. Like, blase blah.
you're
Like,
stupid.
no one can. It's the weather. That's God's word. Like, nobody can mess with nature. It's nature. Okay. Just started laughing. They were like, listen, listen, blase blah. Like, my husband is a professor. He teaches business. If the government could control the weather, he would know. And I'm
What
like,
that is,
what?
there's no correlation to that.
No correlation
he
whatsoever. And I'm just
teaches
like, that makes
he
no
teaches
sense.
business. He would know if they
You are
control the weather.
nobody.
No. I would get it if
No
he was
offense,
like
I
a
don't think that
meteorologist, but
guy is
no.
talking to him. And it's like, yo, bro, we just made a major breakthrough. We just thought you specifically should know. They would have told you.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what are they talking about, bro? And
Mhm.
it's literally caused me to look it up on myself, and you can find yourself through your own research. You can find, I guess, what's crazy shit. Use your best judgment. But there's shit out there, or they've damn well done tests, sending planes into the sky, seeding clouds, for agriculture and stuff. That's even the beginning of it. People with bombs trying to make earthquakes and shit.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole different thing, but it's if people know would know learn how things work, certain things work, eventually they'll know how to harness it or at least manage to replicate it on a scale that works for them. That's why you got a lot of like like say in my job, you got a lot of lab created things and natural stuff. There's a lot of things in natural resources that are hard to make or take too long to make. So
You
we
know what's
found a shortcut.
crazy? I thought you should know this. Diamonds aren't even like rare.
They're not.
Like they shouldn't be valuable.
The amount of times that I've had someone come in saying they had a missing diamond or they mistreated their jewelry to a point that it's like how are you losing all this stuff? And you're just like, oh yeah, can you just put another one in there? Yeah, we'll send it out and they'll put another one in. Like it's not really something that like back in
There's
the
no, they don't have to pay any money to replace diamonds.
well, if they have a warranty or they as long as they come in every 6 months to get their stuff inspected and stuff like that, their diamonds will be covered. But for the most part, like I guess the simple answer is yes. As long as they've taken care of it, we'll replace it like fine. But as long as it's from the
That's
company itself, not
hmm
outside.
that's
Um,
ridiculous. So what if I bought like just a piece with a whole bunch of diamonds on it, and then came in with like all but one of them missing, and just got them all replaced?
as long as it's from the actual company, yeah, we'll replace it. But if it's say you bought it from one jewelry store and then you came in to ours and it's not one of our products, then you're gonna have to come out of pocket for it. But we
What
would
is
still
the
be able to.
range of the prices though of jewelry in it? I guess.
Well, retail price is completely different from manufacturing. Like man, like say for
Well, no,
example,
you don't have to give up the secrets.
oh
Just tell,
no,
like,
like
what are
I'll
people
just
paying out the door?
I'll give you a hypothetical thing just to give you like an aspect. So, say there's a $2,000 ring, right? Possible chance I could
Mm-hmm.
I if like if I was to stay with the company and work and all that stuff, I could get it for 600.
Mm,
Or say if there's a $25,000 thing, I could get it for 1,000. So
mm.
it's a lot of
What?
yeah. That's
Wow.
the power of marketing and retail pricings and stuff like that. Because
I don't know. Do you ever think about just like I don't know. Do you ever think about starting your own, selling your own jewelry?
I'm not a jewelry person. It's just like with Chipotle, people were shocked that I work in there, but I hate guac. I can care less about jewelry. I don't wear jewelry. I'm not really like
Well, for me,
I
it's not even about. For
yeah
me,
for,
it's not about liking jewelry. I'm saying
sure
like I
like
work there. Yeah, I can
no
tell.
like sure like if like even if yeah jewelry would be a good spot to like to sell and make at least a decent amount of money and all that other extra stuff, but I feel like that's something that would be better for someone who's passionate about jewelry than someone who's just like, all right, I want to get a quick buck, because that would mean you just to me, I feel like if I was a customer buying from somebody like that, it would be I'm being scammed out because they don't really know anything. They're just selling it. That's like saying someone who doesn't know about
Mm,
shirts and they're selling shirts that they quote unquote designed, but it's like, hey, such and such happened
mm.
to it, and they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean? You're the one that sold it to me. That's what would come in. So I'd rather be like, it's a good thing. Like I said, it's a good thing, but I'm not passionate. I don't care about jewelry. I can care less about any of that stuff. It's all materialistic things. You're gonna die. Where's it gonna go? It's
Mm.
gonna be on somebody else's finger. Like the only thing that
Yeah, but okay.
I feel like is worth is all right the wedding rings or anything that has a sense of meaning to it. But even then, jewelry is not like my first go to.
Well, this is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying. Buying anything for $1,000 and selling it for $25,000 is a great ROI. You know what I mean by ROI?
I mean, it's a it's a great thing. But yeah, like I said, it on like doing it like that. Yeah, in general. But if you were to do it consistently, and then say if
Exactly.
something happens to it, and they're gonna hunt you down and be like, yeah, so and so sold this to me and stuff like that, and they confront you, that's where it's like, all right, issues is going to
Well, no, I'm
happen.
talking about legitimately, not illegitimately. I'm talking about legitimately, like, starting your own little jewelry thing. Actually, what's crazy? You could do it. Just get connections and make like a little Etsy store or
I
something.
was going to say, a lot of people on Etsy do that. They create their own stuff. They'll go grab materials from Michael's, or they go around the beach and find like seashells and stuff and make their own arts and crafts. Like people do that. That's what they do.
Yeah, but no, specifically like that Etsy stuff, that's like $30 jewelry. I'm talking about $25,000 jewelry
I'm
specifically.
I'm sure if you wanted to do a jewelry store and sell it on Etsy, you could put whatever price you want on it, as long as the
Yeah,
quality
but it
of
would
it is
have.
good and is worth.
Yeah. So I mean, but being able to buy something at $1,000 and have it be $25,000 quality, what does that take other than connection? Like you can't. I'm sure you can't. If you just know the right people to contact, I mean, they're not going to let you buy one piece from them. Is there like a minimum? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like that would be something you would. That's where like wholesale comes in. I mean, I don't know about jewelry and wholesale and how that all that stuff works, but if you had a vendor
Mhm.
that you can buy, because literally all companies are is companies working with other companies, buying from other companies, and then selling their stuff. So like jewelry stores have vendors. Vendors have their own people that they get their materials from to manufacture the stuff. Then they sell it to the actual company, and then the company sells it to us, but at a higher price. That's all it is.
Mm, mm.
So like yeah, it's a
Yeah, I
look
need to get into that.
it's a lucrative thing, but I would say like for me, it would be lucrative if I was really passionate about jewelry. But in my sense, for me, it's like I'm not passionate, so it wouldn't be as it would be lucrative, but it wouldn't work as like all right, I'm making a lot of money because like
Mm-mm.
it's I feel like you make more money doing selling something you're passionate about than just selling it to sell it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's why, I didn't really do well in, a lot of selling positions. But there's also, it just depends on what type of person you are.
Yeah, that
That's why
too.
that Myers-Briggs test is out there, because there are people out there who could sell, you know, they could sell ice to an Eskimo.
Ice to an Eskimo. Hey yo. But yeah, so back to the vegetable thing though. Like I wanted to get your opinion because I was asking people around the same question of like, all right, do you believe vegetables are fake and why? And also defining what's the difference between because for me, like, all right, I get like genetically modified is not natural, and I was talking to QJ and Tristan about it. Like, it's not natural, but it still exists. We're consuming it, like broccoli, carrots, and all that. Those aren't naturally grown vegetables. Those are things that are cross spliced and grown, but it's still an object that we consume. So, is it is that really like the fine line between what is fake, what is not fake, what is natural, and what is not. Like I was asking like people's opinions on that.
Mm,
Because
mm,
like say for example a block of cheese that's natural, but cheese sauce isn't in some sense. But say if you
I
block
don't
say
think a
but say
block of cheese is natural.
well nowadays well if it's to be preserved and all that stuff obviously it's not going to be like full fledged natural. But say if you were to
It's like
like
saying alcohol is natural.
that's a lot
There's no
that's fermentation and chemicals.
exactly. So is cheese.
Yeah,
Nothing makes
it's for,
cheese. Nothing other than humans makes cheese.
fermented milk.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So cheese is natural. I don't think cheese is natural. Are you still on the cheese natural? Yes, yeah or nay?
I sliced cheese. I would
I
say
don't think
isn't.
any cheese.
I would say
Dairy isn't like I don't know. Dairy's crazy. I mean, it's natural, but cheese, yogurt, I don't think that's natural. Ice cream,
ice cream's not
those are
natural.
all like
That's
yeah.
mixed up stuff.
Cheese. Where do you see natural cheese? I feel like you're still supporting this cheese thing.
I'm not supporting it. I'm just saying like if someone was to like just make a block of cheese, what does it take to make that? Like if it's sliced cheese, yeah, I would definitely say I wouldn't say that it's fake because we're eating it, but it's not naturally made food. It's a genetically modified thing.
Um, Cheese is like mold. I don't know. I don't know how you make cheese, man. It's like you do something weird to milk. I just feel like it's not natural because you don't, like I said, no other animal makes cheese. Humans make cheese.
Mm.
So if we were never around, would there be cheese? I don't think so. It's not like it's honey. It's not like we break into cow's nests and there's a whole bunch of cheese there. What else? I don't know. I had to do research on the vegetable things, and that thing is super trippy to me. Like, I think I was like in the grocery store walking past the broccoli, and I just looked up something about broccoli, and it just told me it was like, yeah, all these vegetables are fake. Everything you believe in is a lie. Like, I'm like, what? And then it's just weird. It's hard. I got into this when I was trying to focus on what I was eating. You know,
Mm.
when I was eating, like specifically trying to get healthy
Yeah, like
and looking at what.
like for me, American cheese, you that's definitely something that's not like it's not like cheese. Like if you were to buy cheese at a deli and then buy, say, Kraft's cheese, you could tell there's a difference. And for me, it's always when how it melts. Like you like with American cheese, that shit doesn't melt. It just starts bubbling and it just turns black. And I'm like, that's not cheese. This is disgusting. But we still eat it because I'm looking at a couple
Yeah,
things. But
this
vegetables,
is cheese is made from like flour and 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 milk and salt and stuff and other ingredients and some bacteria and some enzymes. I don't know what rennet is, and then from there it's turned into different cheeses.
yeah. So this,
Like,
how is cheese made? The starter cultures ferment the lactose, milk's natural sugar, into lactic acid. Process helps determine the cheese flavor and texture. Different types of cultures are used to create different types of cheese. For example, Swiss cheese uses one type of culture, while Brie and Blue uses others. So it all involves milk. Milk is like that. That's a human thing. It's not a natural from the earth. Like obviously, cheese is not from the earth and shit like that. But
well, milk
but
is natural, but
yeah, but say like
cheese
compared,
is from the earth.
but say like compared to broccoli,
I don't
uh,
think broccoli is natural.
it's not. It's not a.
Where did broccoli come from?
Where did broccoli
It was
originate?
bred from cabbage and brassilic, oh no, brassica oleae. Oh my God, I can't say it.
So it was.
Marcia.
So apparently, one of the most. It was founded in Italy in the Roman Empire, 18th century.
Oh,
Well, it spread
yeah,
throughout Northern
they did
Europe
it
in
to
the
make
18th
cabbage
century.
better. See, that's
It's a
crazy.
so it's a form of cabbage of the mustard family, grown in edible flower buds and stalk, native to the eastern Mediterranean. Sprouting broccoli was cultivated in Italy, and then it was introduced in America in the 1700s. Where did it come from? So it's grown for its edible natural. Okay, well, where is broccoli seeds are hidden in the pods that form of yellow brooms bolt go to flower. Next step is so it's a so it's it was gene spliced.
hmm Yeah, they did it to make like they said they did it to make it more palatable.
Mm,
Palatable. Bro, say that word. Palatable.
palatable, Pal-
Palatable?
palatable,
You said it right. You're great at saying palatable. There we
palatable,
go.
palatable.
You just gotta have the confidence to go all the way through, guys. That's how you do it. Don't stop. It's like an enemy.
Yeah, broccoli is a man-made vegetable. So is cauliflower. Like like to me, like anything that's genetically modified, like it still exists. I mean, it's not.
And carrots?
Yeah, carrots uh modified vegetables. They're not natural. Like
Where did carrots come from?
where did carrots originate?
Do they
Interesting.
all come from cabbage? Should we just be eating square cabbage? Like,
Just eat cabbage. Good for your eyes. It originates from Iran and were the first domesticated in Asia in the 10th century. Cultivated root. Carrots are cultivated in three ways: individual beds, raised mounts. Oh, there's like carrots. Where did it originate? Were found in Africa and West Asia, and modern carrots were domesticated in Asia 1,000 years ago. So they developed from animal feed to side dishes, and then the primary food source. Where did carrot seeds come from? Not everyone knows that carrots are a 2-year-old crop. During the first year, plant forms a root crop, and then the second year blooms and forms seeds. How did carrots get their
a
name?
2 year crop?
Yeah, so it takes
Where?
So it takes 2 years to really make carrots, but of course, America and other companies, they figure out to probably make it faster. It's a good source of fiber. It's a tap root.
Source of fiber.
So pretty much think of it as like a root that was technically grown into becoming what it is. It's interesting. So it's
Okay,
like to
carrot.
me like gene splicing in like cross breed, like say if you put um this is a good example. What is it? Bananas and kiwis. Like, you ever seen that where someone chopped off the end of a banana and then sliced a kiwi, put it together, and then put it into a pot and they let it grow, and then it grows into a plant that grows this banana-shaped fruit. But when you cut the inside of it, it's a kiwi.
Oh my God. No, I never see
You
that.
never seen
You know, I
that?
have something even better. No, I have something even better. So this man spliced up a tree, and this when I was looking up bonsai trees. I have two bonsai trees. I don't have enough space to like get into my plant thing. My girl, she loves plants, so like all this plant stuff, right up my alley. Perfect time to ask me about it. And basically, I'm looking up these trees. This guy spliced the tree like 60 different times, and it blooms 60 different plant like fruit, and it's like peaches and plums and all different like multiple different types of peaches and multiple different types of plums. So that's how he gets up to 60 because it's a different variance of like normal fruit, but it's just crazy and it looks crazy too because when it blooms, it it blooms in like a whole bunch of individual flower petal colors. It's like just random petal colors,
Hmm.
from each branch because each branch is different.
See, that's where I'm like science, like I feel like science just kind of like blurred the line between what's fake and what's not, because like you
Forget
can
that.
you can have two natural things naturally essentially you're forcing two natural things to grow something new out of it. And like,
Hmm.
say, like to me what's fake would be candy, anything that has those quote unquote artificial flavors in it. Those to me, I would say those are fake because you're creating imitation of the natural thing. But say if you're growing something from the earth from two different sources, like it's
I feel
real, it's
like it's
edible. Just
weird.
yeah, it's a
It's
weird
weird
line.
because the line is always where you draw it. Because now I'm just thinking about, well, as long as it's physical, it's real. As long as you produce it, it's real. So, boom.
I'm like, can you eat it? All right then. So I was like, yeah, it's real and it's edible. But if it's like, say, something that's like plastic, all right, it exists, but it's fake. Like, like that's where the line for me kind of just like, the more I started thinking about
Exactly.
it, it just started to blur. I'm like, what the hell? So I started asking. That's why I
That's
started
me.
asking people. I'm like, what's your opinion on this? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely a break thinker. Like, I'm just the type of person, don't come to me if you want to solve something. Come to me if you want to destroy something. If you want to quit your
Okay.
job, I'll talk you out of it. I'll talk you right into it. You quitting. Fucking by the end of the time, we hang up on the phone feeling so great about it. Don't talk to me if you want to build anything, though.
Like, you know what?
Don't talk
Yeah.
to me if you want to stay in your relationship, because I'll be like, leave leave.
Like, so I was
That's the
talking to this
only
person,
answer.
dumped them. Get
In a
rid of them.
text,
Get rid of
three
them.
words. Fuck you, bitch.
Get
Block on everything.
get rid of them. Purge.
No, I mean, there was this one time I was working for this job, and I think it was like my second year working there, and this one I realized, like, what like my power was and how bad it was. And I'm like talking to this person because I had got moved from my job from one location to another one, and I wasn't feeling good about that. I was salty, so I took my salty self to my other location, and what happened? Bada boom. What happened? Oh yes, I was chilling in the break room, and the job I was doing was a job with a lot of kind of issues, and they just basically got away with underpaying people who work for them. And at the time, I was younger when I first did it, but when I had did it for a second year, I kind of started caring about my finances and my place in the world, and how much money was in my bank account, and I just started like kind of like pulling back the veil on the job. So somebody had left me in this break room with this new person who had jumped into the job. Like this is like their first week,
Oh, I
and they
think I
jumped in
think you
like
you
six
told
months in.
I think you told me about this.
Yes, bro. Yes, bro. I'm just talking to them. I'm like, yeah, man. F this, F that. Like this is how they pay you. This is what everything ends up like. Bada boom, bada bang. If you don't do what they say, boom, they pull it. Half your bread, boom, gone. And basically the way they operated was you got paid minimum wage if you gave them 1,700 hours of service. Like what that was like calculated. That's like the
Yeah,
whole year.
yeah, you did
And
tell
then,
me
like, I'm
about that.
guessing it's half of it for people who come halfway through the year, but you would get paid in stipends. Like, say, like, minimum wage is like $8, $10. You
Mm.
would get paid in stipends. The stipends would be like $600 every 2 weeks. And literally, the only way I did the math, like, we got paid so little, and they gave you grants at the end of the program for school. The grants were like $6,000 or like I don't know, something like that. Not even anything really crazy. Do the math. You spread the grants out over your hours plus what you actually got paid, and it's like $10 an hour for everything. So if you don't finish the program, if you did 1,699 hours, they would take your money. Like they wouldn't give you a grant; they would just fire you. And yeah, that was that. Not
Yeah,
even a partial grant, not even a 90% grant. They were just like, no, you get nothing. And then I walked out. I came back and they're like, James, everybody else is in there. The person I was talking with is going, they're like, James, what did you say? What did you do? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, they're gone. They're gone and no one knows what's happening. I'm like, oh shit. She's like, they just quit. And I just found out that they quit. And I'm like, wow. I ended up quitting too. I don't think I ended up working after that because it was just like, ooh, it was some shady business, man. It was some shady business.
yeah, that's why I like honest work because you can't trust anybody out here nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
They be on some
Can't
stuff.
trust. Can't trust the soul.
They be they be on it,
What?
but yeah, I can't trust anything like that. Like I gotta know where everything is coming from. Like how often am I getting paid? Am I like filling out these? Like yeah, I have to. Like everything got to be official, or at least like I got to see the stuff before I just do some random job or nothing. Can't trust nothing like that.
Yeah. I
Honest
mean,
work, and it's
what?
hard to find.
I don't
But
even trust honest work, man. The honest working man is getting played. He's getting
I
played.
mean, yeah, you get played, but at least you get in a consistency. Unlike the job you talking about, where they're like, oh well, we're
Mhm.
just going to deduct your pay. No, no, no.
Bro, my one friend that year, they waited until the end of the year, basically. Like, there was like a week left or something. And they were just like, yeah, we just looked over your activity over the past year, and we just don't think you deserve to finish this program, so we're gonna let you go. And they let him work all the way up into, last year.
Yeah,
Basically, all the way up until the week.
yeah, no. I would have got sued or something.